Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crunkest Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man Donovan Sadiq in the building. I got Al Jackson sitting in for Demetri K. And I am the 5-star general. It's Free Flow Friday. I said it slow because I couldn't say it fast. But I tell you what, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything from Megan taking a break, a much needed one from a black perspective, all the way up to is family really family? We're going to find out tonight. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in, because you know without you guys we wouldn't have a show. So we appreciate you taking the time to tune in. You're the best audience in the world. I tell you what, man, I'm going to start it off with sending my condolences to one of the best I've seen do it. My man Shock G, Humpty Hump. Good dude, man. Good dude out of Oakland. We got good folk up there I used to rock with, and Shock was always a good dude that opened some doors and showed some love for anybody. Ask Pac. He just showed you love, man. So, I mean, this month we took some hits, man, in the hip-hop world. We took some hits, man. Black Rob, DMX, and now Shock G. I mean, you catch y'all getting a little older, you got to take care of yourself. And that's why every day, almost on a daily, if not a daily, every other day, I call and check on my brother Brad Jordan, because I know he's going through some health issues. But right now, y'all, he doing better. But I want to send my condolences out to Shock G's family and that whole digital underground movement, man. The dude made you want to get off your ass and do some things when the music came on. So I salute you. And Donovan, what you got on the table, my friend?
Salute. Not enough salutes going out to all the greats that are just, passing on and going to be with the ancestors. Welcome you guys to Free Flow Friday. And we are with the infamous Al Jackson. Like I said, a lot of you guys have been waiting for the guy. I mean, this guy should be writing for Richard Pryor, in my opinion, and some of the great comedians that have come and are going to be coming. If you're a comedian out there and you need a good writer, this is the guy you would want to go to. I mean, because he just sits down and writes stuff. I mean, he has notes in his pocket up here, and he'll just write something out and get it out there. But not too much going on in the news other than, the usual mass shootings, black people being shot in the street, in the back, typical American stuff. But what I want to talk about real quick in the news is, and let me fix this, they passed the anti-Asian hate bill in the Senate, and there were some revisions to it. So now it's going to go back down to the House. Once it passes the House, if it passes in its correct form, the way it is, then it goes to Joe Biden's desks, and then it'll be done. But basically, Asians got everything they want in the bill. It makes their crimes a priority over other crimes. If you read the bill correctly, that's basically what it says. It makes Asian hate crimes to the front of the line. So if you're a black person and the federal government is investigating a hate crime against a black person and an Asian hate crime comes in, theirs is going to have priority from the way I understood and I read the bill. So it makes it a priority for them to get their attentions met. And once again, black people get pushed to the back of the bus. And of course, that bill passed 94-1 in the House with all the black senators, I think all three of them, voting in support of the bill. And Josh Hawley, the lone Republican white supremacist, of course, voted against it. And once again, here we are. We've got all these black faces at the table, and they love to talk for everybody else and stand up for everybody else. How do you stand up for people and you can't even stand up for yourself? That's what I will never understand. But anyway, welcome, Al, to the show. Let me pass it off to you. Give you the mic and see what's happening.
Well, what's happening was one of my favorite TV shows in the 70s. Roger Rerun Dwayne. you know the rest. But I want to thank you guys for allowing me, to grace the show. It's pretty invigorating, to be finally on video, because people have been telling me, they say, Al, because that's my name. They'll say, Al, you need to get your ass up on the war zone, and just speak to the peoples. That's the black side, the peoples with the S, the peoples. So, but I want to apologize to everyone out there. I would have been here. We would have started a little earlier, but it was my fault because I had done something very stupid. And what I did, I locked my coat hanger in the car and had to use the keys. But nevertheless, that's just what it is. And I wish someone would stop butt dialing me. Fucking assholes.
Real quick, Al, I got a question for you in regards to the Texans. I know you're a big fan of the Texans. I mean, you don't miss a game, basically, unless it was Colin Kaepernick season or whatever. What's your take on the Deshaun Watson debacle that's going on with Deshaun Watson? I mean, come on, you're there, you're at the stadium, you eat this stuff up. What do you think is going on with that?
Well, in my earnest opinion, I believe that it was him going through this debauchery with the girls and the strippers and that type of thing. That started long before, to me, and just my opinion, it started long before this season. It started a couple of years ago when they did not want to get rid of Bill O'Brien. We kept going to the playoffs, losing. We have a great season. As soon as the playoffs start, we lose. And then they keep getting rid of, good players. They really messed up when they got rid of D-Hop. And so they tried to compensate Deshaun by paying him. And maybe that was going to put a muzzle on him. But Deshaun was like, no, I'm tired of losing. Because that's the thing. Here in Houston, we have this reiterated thing we keep saying every year. There's always next season. And then at the end of that season, we say the same crap. There's always next season. So when Deshaun, you got rid of Bill, that's going to keep him quiet. Then you pay me, and we still lose. So you bring in Romeo Crennel. They already knew at the time, Donovan and Dr. Monroe, what they were going to do with Deshaun. Now he wants to get out. JJ is gone. D-Hop is gone. You got rid of all these other players, and we're just losing. And then we're in the middle of the pandemic. He wants to get out, so they come up with this farce that he's out here touching and doing these salacious things to these women. Have you seen some of them? Damn, Deshaun. Some of them look like my grandmother, and she's been gone since Jeremiah was a pup. So, what is going on here? One thing I do like about Deshaun, he finally found a black barber and he got a good edge up. But other than that, I wish him well. I don't want to say that he did it, but looking at some of these women on TV the other day, I was like, oh my God. He almost kind of reminded me of that ghetto lady y'all had on here the other day with the Spider-Man eyelashes and then the long ass nails, that kind of thing. So terrible taste. You brothers, y'all you're gonna get you a good sister. I mean, damn, do something. But
now I tell you this here, man. That one I'm sending a shout out to. He listens in every day. State Representative Harold Dutton Jr. And salute that man. Now I love his work in being a legislator. But the city of Houston has never respected their stars. No matter what sports team has been. Earl Campbell, they used him up and then they shipped him off to New Orleans. The Rockets used Elijah Wan up. They shipped him off to Toronto. The Astros were the dumbest ones of all of them because you basically boo-booed on Nolan Ryan and you sent them to the Texas Rangers and he threw 2 no-hitters after you got rid of him. They won't allow these guys to retire in their uniforms. And I feel like you feel. that Deshaun ain't did nothing, man. If anything, he went and got him a massage, and while he was there, he got him a little trim, and then they knew because they set him up with it. It ain't like you just show up from Clemson, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? And you just know how to navigate all this stuff down here. So they set him up with all that because that's what they do. They teach them. They send them through courses, and you need to do this and you need to do that when you're a rookie. They got to go through a rookie symposium. So when he figured out he didn't want to be here no more, oh no, we're gonna show you. We're gonna show you. So I don't care if people get mad and oh you're massaging this, 5-star, well you this and that. Well, you call me whatever you want, but I ain't stupid. I know a man with that kind of money ain't gotta force himself on nobody, especially some of them trolls that was on TV. Donovan.
Well, you guys could always take in solace. The very first team you ever beat in your existence was my Dallas Cowboys. We seem to be putting everybody on the map when it comes to the Cowboys. 26 years between championships, I think is a little ridiculous, but here we are, and there we're going to go. But a lot of stuff is going on right now in regards to police shootings. Did anybody hear today about the young man in North Carolina that was shot? They won't release the videotape. He has 8 children. And, when I heard about that this yesterday afternoon, it brought back to what you were saying, 5-star, months ago, that when it's a good shot, they release the tape immediately. When it's a bad shot, they hold the tape and then they edit. What do you got to say on that?
Well, Houston has over 21 shootings right now that they won't release videotape on. So we know that these shootings are bad shootings. You know one thing, if it's a good shooting to them, they'll release that tape an hour after it happens. They don't care. But the Carolina, I'm doing some research on it. The Carolina shooting looked like it's a bad shooting. Up in Spotsylvania, Virginia today, that's another bad shooting. Yeah, it was another one today. They when they don't want to release the names and they don't want to release the names, they don't want to release the tapes. 9 times out of 10, those shootings are not good shootings.
So, since we got the Al Jackson here, Al, I've known you for a good bit now and stuff like that. Al came out to California. Al comes to California. He has to go to Six Flags. He has to go, enjoy what's going on. But Al, let me ask you this about you, though. We're kind of kindred souls because we know like some of the great shows and the great movies. What really made you kind of get into comedy and think, and really like have that to be your forte? I know you're good at your job. I know you like the Texans, but everybody has something that they just like love to do. So, because sometimes I watch you and I think when you start jotting things down, it reminds me of Rodney Dangerfield, because that's what he used to do. He, something popped in his mind, he'd write it down. So could you just tell us a little bit about comedy and like where you fit into it and what really got you started kind of to be like a writer and kind of do all that kind of stuff?
Well, thank you. Everything really started from home. It was, quite honestly, Donovan, it was my grandmother, my mom's mom. And just listening, to the old folks back in the day. Oh, my grandmother, she could cuss with the best of them. And just listening to my grandmother just use all those expletives. Every time she would curse, I would laugh and I would get in trouble. And then when my mom would curse, even today, when my mom curses, she knows when she gets ready to use a curse word, I laugh. And I just took that and said, hey, what could be better than laughing? Laughter is the best medicine. I mean, if someone's sad, turn that frown upside down. You could smile. There's always a reason to laugh. I have this hashtag says, corny to you, funny to me. If you don't laugh, I'm going to laugh for you, with you. Now, if you laughing at me, that's okay, because I can take it. But when I come back, will you be able to take it? You could, Donovan, you and Dr. Monroe, y'all remember back in the day when kids they used to call it joning. Joan and cracking, you know, someone make fun of you, you make fun of them. But the barrier was, don't talk about the mama. Don't talk about the mama. And I always had this comeback. Someone would say something about me and I would say, well, I don't have no mama. Me and my daddy share yours. And that would get them off of me. And so I watched a copious amount of TV, you know, Fresh Prince, Sanford and Son, What's Happening, Good Times, Jeffersons. To this day, when those shows come on, I know what's coming. I know the lines and I'm going to laugh. And that's the best part. You know, you got to be around people that's going to make you laugh. And that's the bottom line. Because Al Jack said so.
Exactly. You know, just real quick, I think the big question, what everybody wants to know is this. And it's the big question. Now, we have Sister Demetra that comes on the show. And, you know, you guys are kind of polar opposites of personality. So, you know, with your relationship with Demetra, I mean, you know, how does that work? The dynamics of that work? Because I'm not saying Sister Demetra is always serious, because she isn't. We know she could be silly when she wants to be. But it's almost like you guys are you're just right for each other, being that, you know, you're more laid back and she could be more businesslike and kind of, you know, no nonsense. How did that work? And, you know, how did that come about? Because I think that's what everybody really wants to know. Like, how did Al Jackson get up with Sister Demetra?
Who? No, seriously. I paid her. I was like, look, I'm half white and black. You're black. I'll tell you these corny jokes. Your ass is going to laugh. Anna Mae, you're going to eat the cake. You're going to eat the cake. And I don't like coconut cake either. So, you know, you got to have to find that balance. You know, I'm a little jovial. You know, she can be a little more serious. You know, but it's good. You know, you can be with someone and just be yourself. And so that's just what it is. And let's just get this out the way. When we stop saying, and it's a prerequisite we had, stop telling me it's the end of the day. At the end of the day, at the end of the day. Well, how are you telling me it's the end of the day and it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon? I hate when people say that it's the end of the day. So long as she don't say that. And here's another thing too. Every woman I've ever been with, there's 3 things you have to know in order to be with me. This is the prerequisite. You got to know 3 Looney Tune characters other than Bugs Bunny. If you don't know them, I don't want to be with you.
And she knew him.
Precisely.
Right. Okay. Let me do my final follow-up question here. Now, Al, you're from Houston. You're a Navy vet. You know, you left town for a little bit to serve the country and everything like that. Now, you've been, you know, in the Houston area for a while, and you know, let's get it out there. You're one of the light-skinned brothers out there. How was it growing up in Houston? Exactly. Lightly melanated, hella black. Exactly. How was it growing up in the Houston area, seeing the changes? Because like the 5-star always, you know, talks about, the farm schools and how things were then to where they are now, and the differences and changes that have happened in Houston. Are they for the good or are they for the bad? Because being a father now, you're raising daughters, in the Houston area. So what is your take on that?
I love my city. And to be quite honest, Donovan, I hate it here. It sucks like a straw. I love Houston. You know, growing up here, being raised here, well, when I came home from the Navy, and by the way, Navy stands for Never Again Volunteer Yourself. So when I came home, it seemed like nothing changed. Some of these streets, you can tell out here in Houston, you can tell that no one gives a damn about this city, because we do not vote on we do not take the local election seriously like we do the federal. Dr. Morrell can contest. You can go from Antoine to 290 Donovan all the way down to 249. The entire road is just bumpy. The local politicians here, they are horrible. They don't fix anything. It's always hot. If you want to come to Texas, you're gonna have good taxes and you're gonna eat. That Southern hospitality, you can just wipe that out the way. That's already been eradicated. You know, the crime here is terrible. We've had 2 black mayors. Turner, who sucks. I don't like him. And Chief Lee Brown. That's it. Sheila Jackson Lee, you know, she don't want to change her hairdo. She ain't doing nothing. So this is a great city, but we still got that old raggedy Astrodome that they want to tear down, make it a casino. It's just, I love it, but no.
Would you recommend your daughters to kind of either stay or maybe, you know, go to the college locally? Because I know you're a girl dad. You know, I happen to know you're a girl dad, and most fathers, we want our daughters close by in case some stuff kicks off. Would you recommend them to stay there and in time to you, or to seek better pastures maybe?
Yes and no. Yes to the fact, you know, that we have, I guess, good weather here. I would recommend them to go to Prairie View opposed to TSU, because TSU likes to screw you out of your, you know, your financial aid. Hopefully they corrected that. But you know, there's family here. I would like them to move to Los Angeles. I love Corpus Christi. I love San Antonio. I love St. Louis. I would want them to go there. But be here? No, absolutely not.
It ain't all it's cracked up to be, I can tell you that. And I'm sort of like you, man. I mean, ain't much changed. And you politicians that's listening, you judges that's listening, because you listen, don't be upset because we tell the truth. Y'all are horrible. You're just flat out horrible. The crime in this city, I've never seen it where it's at now. I've never seen it where it's at now. It's not being addressed. When we came out with the 21-page comprehensive plan, all of a sudden you seen Bishop James Dixon in front of the microphone like he had a plan to deal with gang members. Now, hold on. You deal with sinners. And the sinners that I'm talking about don't come to church. But he jumped, they gave him the lead. That was 2 years ago. How that's working out for you, Bishop Dixon? Because it's horrible here. It is what it is. I wanna transition us into something else. You know, the word came out today that Megan Thee Stallion is going to take a break from social media as well as from her career. And I will say this here. I understand the music game. I understand entertainment. You don't take a break from your career at the height of your career and you just started. What's really going on? But if she wants to take a break, I salute that for a lot of reasons. But for the main reason, you're not setting a good example. So yes, take you a break, and hopefully your break ends up like Lizzo's. Want to walk? And I said, remember, I kept telling y'all about Lizzo. I say, man, they gonna use her up. Once they use her up, she gone. Where is Lizzo? They're gonna do the same thing to Megan, and it is what it is. So, Carl Crawford 1501, you got my little homie over there, played for me and you ball. Stunner Bam, man, put your money behind a winner, bro. I put that microphone in his hand. The kid gonna do what he do. More importantly, he loyal. See, when you're not loyal in this game, it come back to you like karma. So Megan want to leave? Bye. Al?
I totally concur. I'm not a Megan fan at all. I just don't like how she carries herself. Very beautiful sister, but her content, how she carries herself, I just do not like. And when you're in that position, you have that platform, it seems that your image is more important than the music. I mean, Donovan just alluded to it. Was asking me about the how's it here in Houston. The music sucks. When I was a kid, we had Love 94, Magic 102. But now you turn on the radio station, the music is horrible. So it's long overdue that Megan is taking a hiatus, from the music scene, and let somebody else come in, because I miss the Anitas and the Tonys, the sisters who meant something, that had something to say, and And hopefully the other young rappers coming up, the other young singers, can take heed. If you're not going to do something that's going to project a good image for our people, get out the game and sit down and, recalibrate and then come back and just change your whole diameter.
Well, this comment was for me. 5-star, can a female afford to take a break in the industry and come back the same? Let me tell you something, and you're going to know I'm not lying if you've really been watching all these years. You can take a break. You can actually fall off everywhere except the South. When you fall off in the South, you don't come back. Your careers are over. Name me one that did. Snoop fell off when he left Death Row. He came back. You can fall off on the East Coast. Ja Rule fell off. 50 fell off. They come back. Who fell off down south and came back? And down south, they just like, when they done with you, they done with you. But I don't think it's her music, that can make her fall off. It's the content of it and the things that's going on right now where you really do need a break. You need a break so you can go back to thinking the way your mama would have wanted you to think. You got your foot in the door. You can do whatever you want to do now. But this stuff that you're doing, it's not projecting a good image, man. It's really not projecting a good image. So to me, man, I'm not a big fan of Megan's. I'm not a big fan of that style of music at all anyway. And she may be listening, and who the hell he think he is? The dude with the microphone on his arm. You can test these skills any day you get ready. I bust a woman ass in this music game just like I bust one of them dudes. But you need a break because you trash and go about your business.
So let me ask you this, 5-star. You're the music connoisseur of the group, and you're an artist and a writer, and you've been in the industry for a while. Didn't Megan just get out of a 360 deal or something with her former label? That was like a year or two ago. How can she, like, going into a new deal, whatever this new deal she had gotten, how can she just say, okay, I'm going to take a break and roll? Wouldn't her record company want a couple of albums before she takes a break so they can make their money back?
No, let's get something straight. She ain't never get out the 360 deal. That you not getting out that deal. She didn't ever get out that deal. That deal doesn't pay her. 360s don't pay you. So the thing is she kind of stuck in that deal. Live Nation would be her management. And, managers get paid off what you do. So, I don't see them just saying take a break unless something has happened. I really think she's pregnant. That's what it is with me. I think you laid up here and got your back busted up, and now you're pregnant, and now you got to go on a hiatus for a little bit. So, if that's the case, the game going to be passed up by the time she get back. Mark my words.
I would like to see Megan, when she does come back, is to change her entire image, by her being, in shape, because she's not bad built. If you're into the back more than the front, then that's what she could promote. Maybe do like a clothing label. I'm not into the long nails. If you're wearing long nails, that is a turn off. It is nasty and it is not clean. So please, I just would want Megan to just grow up. And as we all know, as adults, you evolve as you get older. She needs a better image, more positive people around her. I don't care if you don't like it. Cardi B is the same way. Our young sisters, our young ladies, they have no one in the game. No one, as far as female wise. We're not talking about Queen Latifah and ladies like that. They're all ready for the 40 and 50-year-olds. But we're talking about our daughters, our nieces and cousins and people like that. They need someone. And Megan and Cardi, you are absolutely not it.
Yeah, ever since I used to like her a lot. Nicki Minaj got married. She's been doing her own thing. I guess she retired from rap for now, I guess, and she'll be back.
She's still in it, but it ain't popping no more.
Right.
Game to move on. Game evolve every day in the music industry. And they have an unwritten rule. You're only as good as your last record. So if you ain't selling no records, then they ain't got no use for you.
So like let me ask you this, 5 Star, 'cause, I'm not really big into the music thing like that. So if you've got a contract, let's say of 5 albums, and then they shelve an album or they do something, like you hear about these stories all the time. How do you, other than honor the contract, but let's say you just say, hey, this ain't working out and I want to do something else. Are you still contractually obligated to give them those albums, even if 7 years pass by and all that other good stuff?
Whatever that contract says, that's what it is. It depends on how your contract is written. Like Lil Stunner Bam or Lil Zaire Gibson that's on 1501 with Carl Crawford. He was in a bad deal before that. His mom called me and she was like, "Can you refer us an attorney?" And I referred him to my music attorney, Leslie Warren Cross, because Cross is an honorable dude. He's an honorable as an attorney because some days you can't even trust the attorneys. But Cross is a good attorney. So I referred him over there. And now he has a deal with the same label that Megan was on, 1501. But I can guarantee you that Stunner Bam is not in a 360 deal. No, we ain't doing 360s. So when you caught up in them deals, man, they control every aspect of your life. If they tell you you can't release music, then so be it. Man, I knew my contract so well, it's gonna trip y'all out, but it's true. I was signed to a label out of Louisiana, so I had to be down there all the time. So when we sat down to write the contracts up, they wrote the contracts up, they gave them to me, I sent them to my lawyer, and I told him I want you to put one provision in my contract because what he does, and this is how it should be. Al gives me a contract and says, I want you to sign to my label. You need to understand that the contract Al just gave me is in the best interest of his record label. So I'm going to take his contract, I'm going to give it to my attorney, who's going to draw up a counter proposal that's in the best interest of me. Now, I'll take both of them back. I got Al's in the left hand, mine in the right hand. And I'm going to put mine on the table first because this is the one that I'm going to sign. So if you want to do business with me, this is what I'm going to sign. Inside of my contract is going to tell me the release date of my first project. Because if you sign an open contract and don't have a release date for your first project, they can hold you forever. They can hold you 20 years before they release your first project. 2, how do I get paid in this contract? I need to understand all my royalty aspects, my mechanicals, everything. You see what I'm saying? And then there's going to be an option, no matter if it's years. And normally I sign project deals if I signed them. I didn't sign years. So we'll have a 2-album, 3rd album option, but the option is not going to be up to the record label. It's going to be up to me. So if I don't want to deal with you after 2 projects, then I can walk. Also inside of my contract, I'm going to have me an escape route. I'm going to have something in that contract to where if I don't like what Al is doing, after 6 months, I'm going to use this loophole and I'm going to get out. You see what I'm saying? So the first contract I signed, we had it all lined up, and I wanted one provision. There was a place called Peggy's in Lake Charles that had some of the best boudin and pecan candy you could ever taste. They were obligated by contract to buy me $200 worth of boudin and pecan candy every week that I was under contract. And they would deliver my stuff to me as promised. So, I mean, it's just whatever's in that contract, you're obligated to it. You're going to be stuck in there. And if it doesn't make you money, it just doesn't make you money because, it is what it is. Like I've heard so many horror stories about the J Princes or the Suge Knights, and they signed me to a bad deal. No, they didn't sign you to a bad deal. You signed yourself to a bad deal. They didn't force you to sign them contracts. You fell for the okie doke on whatever, and it really ain't the okie doke. This is what they offered you. This was in the best interest of their company. So you signed your name on it. Now you obligated to fulfill.
Let me ask you something, 5 Star. I'm a little inquisitive. why is it that mostly that it's always maybe the rappers that have a little trouble with their contracts opposed to the R&B singers?
No, that's not true. Let's go all the way back to Willie Dixon. You know, let's go to Cadillac Records. You know, they've been screwing R&B singers forever. They've been getting them forever. They stole all their music. You see what I'm saying? It's just it's a little bit quieter. I mean, Toni Braxton, she wasn't getting 2 pennies per album. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. You may think that's a joke, man, but 2 pennies per album, she'd have been a multi-millionaire right now, based on the number of albums she sold. So R&B singers get screwed all the time. They're just a little quieter than the rappers. The rappers, they get screwed, but they really don't get screwed. Look at how they live it. Look at the money they spend. But you forgot it wasn't your money. They loaned it to you, pandemic style. We're gonna give it to you now, but we're gonna get it at you later. So R&B singers been getting got forever, bro. Ella Fitzgerald got. All of them got.
Well, if I was gonna get got, and I know I couldn't be able to get out of my contract, but how come that a lot of these artists, you know, they don't have maybe classes or something to tell them that, or they just going for the money? Because the music that's being put out is garbage.
You got to understand, like streaming right now. Everybody's big in the streaming. They hear, oh, we got 1 million streams. He ain't made no money. He ain't made no money. K Reno from Houston been here forever. K Reno still selling his stuff out his trunk. You make more money doing it that way than streaming. You see what I'm saying? So imagine if you're in a 360 deal, and I give you an example like Drake. People are like, oh, Drake got all this money. Man, Drake money split up 5-6 ways, man, before he even touch his money. You got to pay them Canadians that you down with. You see what I'm saying? You got to pay Jazz Prince. You see what I'm saying? It's before he even get his money. The Canadians, Jazz. Then you got to pay the record label. Then you got to pay Lil Wayne. You see what I'm saying? Then you get what's left over. But those are the contracts that they sign. Now, as far as having classes, Jackie A Senior High School is the only school in the country right now that has an entertainment entrepreneurship class where children are taught the entertainment business, but from the business side. Yeah, they get to do the entertainment side. They get to rap. They get to sing. But now you're going to learn this book sense in this thing, man. You got to come about this game with more money than when you got in it. If you got in it broke, you shouldn't come out broke. You shouldn't be 40, 50 years old as a local rapper, and we got some, and I ain't gonna call them out, doing shows for $1,000.
Is that like that rapper I hear out here? It kind of sounds like Bun Burger B. I know that's not his name, but I'm just trying to be a little facetious. His name is Zero. And every time I hear his music, unfortunately, because I don't like it, it sounds like Bun Burger B.
Well, let me tell you this here. From a UGK perspective, I'm not gonna go too deep in it. Mama C was like the savior of UGK because UGK had signed the jive, and this is a story that's known publicly. The day they signed the jive, they were coming out the building and they ran into KRS-One. And he asked them, he said, what y'all doing here? They say, man, we just signed. He say, damn, I wish y'all hadn't did that. It took UGK 10 years of being on jive before they ever got a check. 10 years before they ever got a check. So, I mean, the game is the game. But what do you expect in the rap music game that's controlled on the lower levels by dudes that were nothing but drug dealers in the streets to begin with? The same way they treat you as an artist, the same way they treated their workers on the block.
Well, you know, since we're talking about music and, you know, entertainment and stuff, which is great. Let me ask you this, Al. It's a two-part question. what is your favorite sitcom of all times for you? And then, you know, when we were coming up, you can listen to the Red Fox records, you can listen to the Dolomite records, you can listen to the Richard Pryor albums, and even Eddie Murphy had a few of them out there. Martin Lawrence had some in the 90s. You don't really see a lot of comedians now that are really funny or are really actually out there doing things. A lot of the comedians, either they get a show and then they get a sitcom. The sitcom might last one season. Then you see them on, you know, a few movies here and there. Then that's the end of it. What's your take on comedians now? It seems to me comedians now aren't as strong as they were back in the day of the Richard Pryors and the Eddie Murphys and all that other good stuff.
I mean, there's still a few good comics out there. I mean, if you're in the corny stuff, which I am, you know, you'll listen to old school folks like Henny Youngman. You know, he's gone. I used to watch the show. Y'all remember Bizarre with John Viner, The Gong Show. You know, that's that white stuff. You know, if you're into that, which I am, you know, but the comedians, I mean, there are a lot of great comedians out there. You know, I love Earthquake, George Wallace, Paul Mooney. You know, he was having a little, you know, it's kind of sickly. You know, some more. You know, she's very, you know, has used a lot of expletives, but you know,
but she's fine though. She's fine though. But go ahead.
Yeah. You know, she's funny. You know, but you know, out here, you know, we have the Improv. They used to have comedy shows at the Arena Theater. You know, some downtown. You know, but the comedy's kind of steered off a little bit. You know, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. You know, LaWanda Page, Moms Mabley. You know, we can go on and on. And those people, you know, they're not here anymore. You know, Robin Harris. You know, we had the Def Comedy Jam. You know, I wish Puffy would have stuck with the Bad Boys of Comedy rather than doing folks wrong in music. But it's not the same anymore. If you go into a comedy show and you're just sitting there doing this, why even spend your money? You're gonna have to laugh. That's the most important thing.
So let me ask you this. You know, your all-time favorite sitcom. If you have more than one, that's fine too. Because you know, I noticed that you're like myself. I like the Norman Lear genre. You know, you had the Good Times, you had the Maude, you had the All in the Family. You know, that whole thing, the Jeffersons, and the whole like. So, is there a in particular sitcom that you like?
Number one, Sanford and Son. You know, no questions asked. Sanford and Son. It got Good Times. Of course, the Jeffersons. Do y'all remember That's My Mama? It was short-lived.
Clifton Davis. Yeah, Clifton Davis. Yep.
The Odd Couple. I used to love that. Here's another show that used to come out back in the early 2000s. It was called The Powers That Be. You know, that was funny. You know, you know, it's just so many comedy shows. Like the stuff now that's on TV. I'm not even a Martin fan, believe it or not. I'm a Fresh Prince fan. You know, because they had a lot more corny jokes.
Well, you know, that's exactly where I was going. Like in the 90s, you had a lot of up and coming comedians that, you know, they were on the circuit. They did the Chitlin circuit, whatever, and they put their time in just like anybody else does. And then, you know, they almost immediately got a sitcom. And then all of a sudden, 2000 hits, there are no black sitcoms on TV. The WB folded, the CW, and all the UPNs and all that, all these channels folded, which had a lot of the black shows on them, and then they're gone. So what is your take on, you know, the black comedy sitcom or what's on TV for young black people to watch in regards to CSI and, you know, the First 48? It seems like that's all that you see now versus black comedy or just something to enlighten us. Because if you think of what's been going on with all these shootings, you know, you really don't really have a place to go to woo-saw yourself out. I mean, the comedy just isn't there that we can relate to. Like I said, I didn't watch, what's that stupid one? All the nerds, the white nerds and Friends. I didn't watch stuff like that. So I couldn't tell you, you know.
There aren't a lot of like black comedy shows that are out. Like the Grownish and the Blackish, they have one black writer that's a comic, Dion Cole. He's very funny. But when I watch the show, I'm not even laughing. I don't, you know, they have a little more serious content. But even when you have cable, you can't find a lot of good stuff that you're going to laugh at. You're going to have to go to Netflix and hope there's a good stand-up special on. But you're right. There is no good black comedy shows that are on. You're going to have to watch the old stuff. I used to like Too Close for Comfort, Three's Company, Happy Days. A lot of our sisters and brothers didn't watch that, but I did.
I watched Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
So as a comic, though, and let's say there's another young person coming up as a comic as well, and they want to get into comedy. What would advice you would give them to kind of get them like going, especially let's say a young person in Houston? They're seeing the same thing that you're seeing. They're seeing no change there. They figure, hey, I'll just get a job, even though I want to be a comic. I mean, how many venues are available to people? Like I said, you have the Improv there, but how many venues are available to young people trying to get into the entertainment business? Because not all of us are going to be singers and rappers and football players. Some of us, might be really good at comedy.
The comedy scene is out there. I haven't done it. I've had a plethora of people tell me, Al, try it. But I want to hone in on my craft. And I would tell every young aspiring comedian out there, if you're going to stand up on stage and tell jokes for an hour and a half, you have got to enjoy what you do. You have got to take notes and write. If you don't feel it, that crowd won't feel it. And I can sit up here all day and tell y'all a bunch of corny jokes. And it's funny to me, but it won't be funny to you. And so how do you think that's going to be? You can't be a black comic going in there telling, white jokes. The crowd won't feel it. That's why Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and all these comedians that we're talking about, they knew how to capture that audience. And so for me, it's all about, you got to feel it in here. We're talking about Megan. We all know WAP didn't start with Megan and Cardi. WAP started with our grandmothers. She put them glasses on and say, you don't go sit your tail down, I'm going to whop you upside your head. That was WAP. WAP was also, you remember that song in the 80s from B-Fats, the WAP It? That was something like that. What about Richard Pryor? I mean, Little Richard, he had WAP, Babaloo, Baba, WAP, Bamboo. That was WAP. That's funny. That's comedy.
Wait, so let me ask you this. You're a girl dad, but you're also a comedy dad. How does your girls deal with? Because I know for a fact you're a sarcastic person, and you might be two people. When it comes to your kids and your home life. I mean, how do your girls relate to you when it comes to situations in regards to just everyday living? It's kind of funny when you go to your dad and you say, "Hey, Dad, I need maybe help in math," and you're telling a joke. I don't know if you tell a joke or not. How do you relate to your girls?
Well, I have to differentiate when to be serious with them and when to joke with them. And sometimes when you're trying to be overly funny, folks won't take you seriously. And then when you are serious, they're gonna think you're funny. Like I remember one time my oldest daughter, she said, "Dad," I said, "Don't call me Dad till those blood test results come in." Now that's a joke now. So I said, so she said, Dad, I need help with my homework. I helped her, Donovan. She took it to school. She came home and there were 2 zeros in the left-hand corner of her paper. And I said, "What you get 2 zeros for?" She said, the teacher says, one for me and one for you. So I do have to, kind of stop joking with them because they do take me as, they once told Demetra and a couple other people, they call me ice cream because I'm too soft. But that's what dads we're supposed to do. Our job as fathers are to do 3 things. We're to provide, protect, and profess. I can't teach you how to be a woman. That's your mother's job. My job is to do those 3 things. But along the way, I can honestly say I've never disciplined them. I've always felt like, hey, I got a deep voice. You can see how big my Adam's apples is. Or I always felt like if I could just tell you, my voice will carry just as hard as a belt. So, but if they're happy, I'm happy.
Now, last question, real quick, is from me on this segment. You know, you're there in Houston. You're raising the girls in Houston, and I'm you know, you have a farm team of football players that have come out of there in Houston. I mean, there's a lot of great things in Houston because every time I look at some of my friends here in California, they got a relative in Houston. They're always going to Houston. I mean, I was living in Spring for a little while with the military down there. You know, when your girls get to the age of dating, if you ever let them do that under your auspices, you know, what kind of advice would you give them in regards to young men there in the Houston area? Because, you know, there's a lot of clubs there and stuff that they can go to and get into, and there's a certain lifestyle there. So what advice would you give your daughters? And we want it from a dad's perspective in regards to the young men that basically grew up in the same environment that you grew up in.
You know, Donovan, I'm glad you asked that because it's ironic. Because on my Facebook page, every day for 7 days a week, around 7 o'clock Central Time, I try to put out something positive that's going to help our young sisters. And I started that because my daughter, my youngest daughter, she was talking to this guy and she says, Dad, the blood pressure rose came in. She said, Dad, I noticed that my little friend, when I call him, I'm always calling him, but he doesn't call me. And I said, baby, you don't chase no damn man. You're the catch. You are. We can sit up here and talk this masculine stuff all we want, but we can't make it without that woman. And brothers, I'm talking about black women specifically. We can't make it without her. And so I just tell my daughters that you don't chase no man. You're the catch. And I learned that from my grandfather. You know, wrap this up. I remember my grandfather and my grandmother were getting ready to go out. And they were getting ready to leave. And she grabbed her purse. And he said, no, you put that down. Because you ain't paying for nothing. Anything. All you need to do is bring your smile and a positive attitude. And I got the rest. And that's something, you know, that I tell my daughters, you know, because if I don't edify them, then who will? Then they're going to learn it out here on the street, and they're going to be another Cardi or another Megan, and I don't want that. And neither should none of us fathers.
And a quick follow up for 5 Star. You know, you have a daughter and everything like that. What would you tell her in regards to? I know she's grown now, but you know, in regards to advice in regards to dating somebody in the Houston area.
Don't worry about it right now. Get yourself in order. You know, build your dynasty. You know, build your company. Get yourself in order. You got time for that. I kind of don't get into that. You know, you get to pick who you want because I wasn't the best pick for some people. You know, but I ended up being pretty good. You know, when given a shot. I will tell if he riding the slab with elbows, that ain't the dude. That ain't the dude. Because even if he good, somebody gonna try to snatch you off of him. If y'all riding around, no, that ain't the one. But the main thing I just tell them, man, just be respectful of yourself, and always make sure that they can't come back and say nothing about you. You know, and if you do that much, I got your back. And I don't get into my kids' business. I mean, they grown, do your thing. But I let all these little cats know I know how y'all get on. So if you happen to put your hands on them, you'll deal with me. So make sure you if you need to punch something off, go punch a wall. But don't put your hands on my child because we're gonna have a problem. So that's about it for me on that. Al, I know we were talking earlier about we wanted to talk about his family. Break it down. What you talking about?
Well, thank you so much. I want everyone to listen. and look at me very carefully. When we say family, who are we referring to? Are we talking about the people that are blood related? Because when I say that, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, family are not always the ones that we call blood related. We're just not going to be family because there's a damn holiday, or somebody's getting married, or somebody kicked the bucket. What is family? I have three or four people that are very close and dear to me. And I love them like there's no tomorrow. And we're not even related. I have a friend. Her name is Yolanda. We've known each other for 36 years. 36. I love her to death. That's family to me. I have a good friend named Patrick. We work together. I've entered into his home. I've spent the night at his house. He's helped me in each transition of my life over the last 13 years. I love you, Patrick. Raymond Guidry, I love you. And I can go on and on. That's family. I recently discovered, and I 5-star diamond. I've gotten, people have made fun of me my entire life because of the color of my skin. I've never been called no N-word, and I don't call people N-words, and I don't use the B word referring to our women. That's something that I do not do. But I'll say this. I've been talked about all my life because of my skin color. And I recently discovered this week about my dad's side of the family. I have a black mom and a white dad. I didn't know my dad growing up. My dad died in 2000. I didn't find out until I was 39. And it sucked big time. And just last week, I found out through the 23andMe, I got in contact with a third cousin, then a second cousin. And we're talking, and I've gotten pictures of my dad, and it's pretty emotional. And that's the part that I did not know. I was deprived of it. No fault of my mom's or my own, but I'm glad that I'm finding out. I know one side, but I just didn't know the other. And that's important. Dom, you asked me about my daughters. Hey, my daughter, I got 2 daughters and a son, and I just want them to know this side of the family. You know that side, but I want you to know the other side. So when you look up that family tree and people ask you, hell, I probably met y'all's daddy before I even knew my damn own. That's how important family is. So if you got children out there, no matter where they are, hey, just be there for them, because you don't want them being in a situation like me where they don't know their daddy. You find out he's dead.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff.
Well, I know my family, and honestly, I don't fuck with a bunch of them. I don't do clowns. The circus came to town and left a bunch of they clowns inside our family. I don't like the drama. I don't like none of that. I kind of just stay to myself. And that's the way my mom was. I mean, it was 13 of them, but she kind of gravitated to one sister. And she loved all her brothers and sisters. But whenever you saw that sister, you saw my mom. I just think that nowadays it's a prerequisite to be a good family member to some people. You either got to have money, your status needs to be something. And if it ain't that, then they really ain't kicking it with you. And I'm talking about from a younger perspective with people, with the way I see the disconnect when it comes to family. I got family. I got 63 brothers. I know that for a fact. It was 63 of us that played on the team together. So no, and I mean, we argue like cats and dogs. most of the arguments are squashed right then because somebody gonna say, man, enough is enough. But no matter what it may be, if we call any one of them 63, they gonna be there. I called a couple of them, made it to the NFL, and I asked them, say, man, I'm trying to get this kid to go to the old school. Can you help me, just show up at the school to help recruit this kid? And one of these dudes played for the Dallas Cowboys. He never does anything. You can't get him to do nothing. He said, man, let me know what day you need me there. They're my brothers. So if we end up in a money crunch or something happen, or if you're in the hospital, like I go to the hospital, I'm in there, I already know they coming. So sometimes family ain't family. Just it's the people outside the family sometimes that you can lean on the most. But I got 63 brothers. I tell that to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, good stuff there. Like I said, I come from a pretty big family, and I kind of agree with you, Al. You've got these family members. There is something missing when you don't know what that one side of your family. And unfortunately, you have a lot. And I'm not blaming the women, because you got the men on that is opposite of the women that have kids out there. They don't know they have kids out there, even though they know they have kids out there. If you know what I mean. You know, you got these women that are raising these children. And of course, because it's the woman, the children are going to be spending more time with the mother's side of the family. Of course, that's just human nature, because that's her support system, right? But then you have these women out there, in some cases, that won't tell the children the other side. Like my mom was a widow. My mom didn't have to go and make me spend time with my dad's people, but she did, because she didn't have no beef with my other grandmother. But we went over there to know both sides of the family and stuff. And, thank goodness that I got an opportunity to be whole. And a lot of these young kids, if they hear anything about their daddy, oh, he's in prison. We hear all the negativity about it. And, once we start realizing good or bad of the dad or the dad side of the family, it might be a blessing, because you might have an uncle or aunt over there that really gives a damn about their nephews or nieces and could help that mom who might be living on Section 8 right now, wants to get off. Thank God for my aunt, my dad's sister, that babysat and kept me and my brother while my mom joined the Coast Guard and the Army, during those times. If it wasn't for my aunt, I do not really believe I would be in the position that I'm in today, because my mom wouldn't have had the support system, because she was in California where she had no family other than her in-laws. So,
well, I didn't have a problem with that man's side of the family. I could kick it with them people on that side. I had a problem with him. And I think he went to his grave, and we never fixed or never had an opportunity to sit down and talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it. And I think we had one interaction. I think I was about 14. And I know, well, no, I was about 16, because I just got moved up to the varsity. And my sister lost 3 kids in a house fire down in Orange, Texas. That's where he from. So I went down there for the funeral, and he was like, man, we need to talk. I said, talk about what? And he's like, man, we need to talk. I said, nah, I don't want to talk to you. Man, I'm your dad. I said, nah, my dad at home. I say, remember, when I was 3 months old, I wasn't important to you. And you left. So we don't have a connection, homeboy. So a few years later, he ended up passing away, and my sister called me. I'll never forget that day. And she on the phone. By that time, I had buried the man that took care of me, my daddy. I buried Raymond Stevenson. And my sister called, our daddy died. I said, girl, quit playing. Oh, our daddy died today. Man, my dad had been dead for 3 years. What are you talking about? I'm talking about our real daddy. My real dad had been dead for 3 years. I say, look, I get it with what you're going through. And just the way I said it, going through, but I have no connection to that dude. So I don't want a connection. I will not disrespect him by coming to his funeral and placating and putting on a show, like I give a damn, because I really don't. I really don't. So, at the end of the day, I mean, he may have donated some sperm, but you didn't do the assignment. So, that's why it's been so important to me to complete the assignment and do what I need to do. I'm blessed right now. I had a couple of issues. They come out the woodworks, uh, child support, and I think a couple of months before her 18th birthday. Okay, well you ain't getting child support. You're gonna get some back time. So I just made a decision that when I finish in Minneapolis, let me call y'all. What's my balance? Well, your balance 8,000, Mr. Monroe. Where I need to send that and get it over with. You see what I'm saying? But family wise, I got a few cousins that I feel that I kick it with, but I don't kick it with them clowns, man. I got the type of family Steve Harvey would warn you about. The ones with the ghetto weddings and all that. Yeah, that's my family right there.
Listening to y'all stories about y'all family, that's the kind of stuff that I only knew from one side of the family. I didn't know the other side. The person that you see here before you is formed of two people: my dad, Walter, and then my mom's dad. His name was Lee, and he was everything to me. Still is. I tell you something. I was in the Navy diamond when I found out my dad passed, and they sent you that little Red Cross message, and so they was trying to notify me, but I was trying to avoid it. I said, no, I don't need no bad news. So I go home and I get this phone call, and it's my stepdad, and he tells me, Papa passed. My grandfather, my mom's dad, passed on his birthday. The next day was Thanksgiving. To this day, I don't give a about Thanksgiving. Not just for all the vitriol it has done for our people, but it never had a significant meaning to me prior to that day. Since then, that the next day was Thanksgiving. I'm in the bathroom, and do y'all remember that aspirin called Anacin? It was 20 in a bottle, and I had 12, and I tried to kill myself, and I had 7 of them on my tongue, and they were getting ready to dissolve. I get a call from a relative, and he says, I just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. I put it down. And to this day, that's since it's been 94, I remind him all the time, man, you saved my life. Fast forward to this day, what would I have been good to my family if I would have been dead shortly thereafter, before my dad, because he passed in 2000. This was in 94. And so just having people reach out to me to say, hey, man, I understand. And a lot of times people will manipulate you with that family shit. Well, what would mama want you to do? What would daddy want you to do? Because I didn't go to my grandfather's funeral. I did not want to see him laying in that casket. What would daddy want you to do? That's manipulation. What daddy would want me to do what's conducive to my happiness. Don't tell me that kind of stuff, because all that's doing, you're trying to put me in the same box as you. And so you gotta differentiate. Who is your family? Is it the family that you're gonna be this summer eating them damn crab legs and doing the wobble, which I don't know how to do because it sucks, but I do know how to do electric slide? Or are you gonna be at somebody's house that cares about you, like a Gary, like a Donovan, like a Patrick, like a Yolanda? That's your family. It ain't the people that's blood related.
Well, I mean, family is when you got that connection, when you just show genuine love for people. I mean, when the lights went out, when it was freezing, you and Demetra called me and asked me if I wanted to come over there with you. You didn't have to do that. You don't know me, Al. You see what I'm saying? And I respect that. That was love, because some people that I know never picked up the phone to even see if I was breathing. My family is, for me, my family was my mama, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins that I'm cool with. But my family was my head football coach, Luther Booker, my offensive line coach, Ronald Muffin. If I needed some pots because I wanted to learn how to cook and I was doing whatever, I would go borrow those pots from my school counselor, Thelma Johnson. That's my family. My family is the counselor that's at the school right now, Tamika Jeffries. She gets married this year. She's having an all black wedding, and everybody ain't got an invitation. And we like brothers and sisters. I done met her family. I met her father, her mother. When I went down to Dallas to go to games, her dad really wanted to meet me. I met him, and I told her, I ain't got my invitation yet. She like, Monroe, you gonna get your invitation? Look, I'm telling you now, if I don't get my invitation, I'm crashing the party. I'm telling you, I'm crashing the party. So these are people that, and Tamika Jeffries is very special, because there was a day I was having a very bad day, and she could see something in me. And she called me into her office, and she said, "You sit down, we need to talk." She said, "I see something and I don't like it." Well, I'll just say this here. She saved somebody's life that day. Because if she had not got to me, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'm just telling y'all, those are family members, man. I don't want to kick it with them clowns that I don't see but at everybody's funeral. No, that ain't family. And y'all may say, well, don't you have a sister? That connection is not there. It's just not there. So really, I'm a lone wolf, and I'm good with being that. I came in this world by myself. I go out by myself.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, just as a recap, as we're getting ready to wind everything down here, now, you were able to convince Demetra to leave sunny in California. And she says on the show constantly how if that weather keeps messing up down there, she's heading back to California. So, I
Now
mean,
we gonna see how she rocking when she get her first hurricane.
right, exactly. So, I mean, with all that going on down there, I mean, how do you think she's adjusting in your opinion, being the host person? She's moving down there, and she's been to Texas before, but I mean, her adjustment and stuff, because one day it's her hair can't get right, this, that, and this. I mean, how's all that going?
The adjustment is not her. Hell, it's me. I'm not used to this. I haven't done this since my kids' moms and I were together. That's the adjustment. That's the hard part. Let me tell you something, guys. This is what I've learned to discover. When you're living with a woman, and I'm very considerate. We're watching TV, and you pause the TV. They go in the kitchen, take that damn thing off of a pause. You might as well go and watch it, because they take forever to come back on. They take forever. So but seriously though, the transition it's a little different, but you can't be complacent. You got to get out of your own comfort zone. Some stuff I won't compromise on, but so far so good. I like it that we're in an area where it's a lot of dead spots. So when them people that we call family try to call you, you can't get the call. You can't. They say, well, Alan tried to call you. Well, I can't do anything about it. But anyway, though, it's good though. But yeah, the adjustment is on me, not her. She came here from California because I damn sure wasn't about to move out there. And let me tell you something, fellas. Let's get the geographical location correct. It is down south, far east, out west, up north. I'm tired of people asking me, Al, what you gonna do when you get down to California? I can't go down to California. I can go up. Now, when you're in California, you can go down to San Diego. Shit.
The Afro Diaspora Network said, has anybody noticed 5 Star looking slimmer? Whatever he's doing is working. Well, right now I'm in the process. Um, of going through the thing to have weight loss surgery. So I've got to work out. I've got to eat a lot of protein. I'm not eating as much, and I'm cool with that. It doesn't matter to me. I just made a decision that it ain't gonna be health issues that take me out the building. It ain't gonna be health issues. I made a commitment that in this year that I'm gonna get my health in order. That's why y'all see me going through the surgeries, the procedures. I call them procedures. And they not major, they minor. But every procedure is major to me because you never know if you're gonna go in there and you ain't gonna come out. So I'm doing the right things. I'm eating better. I just don't eat like on this trip. I've been down here almost 2 months, and I've eaten no fast food, no sodas, none of that. I just drink water. So if I get hungry, like last night was tough. I was getting hungry, and man, I went cut me some apples. Normally, I get up and fry me a whole goddamn chicken, but I went and cut me some apples, and that's what I'm doing. So you want to know, and I got a hell of a support system. Two of my brothers that I played with, Maurice Hobson, he had weight loss surgery. He's in his first year of it. My other brother, Kendrick Owens, he had his surgery about a month ago, and in less than a month, he's lost 80 pounds. So they're grooming me, that they're teaching me how I need to prepare for this lifestyle change. It's not good, and you guys out there, we do it, but you really shouldn't drink when you eat. They're teaching me that you should drink 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after you eat. And honestly, it works. It actually makes you feel better. So, but the thing that I gotta get used to, because I don't eat that much, is I gotta eat like 6 times a day. Not a lot, but at least every 3 hours I have to eat. But I figured out what I like. Like last night I ate. I had to eat dinner, so I made me a salad with chicken breast. So, and that's not something that I'm used to eating. So, this weekend I'm gonna commit to Subway. That's what I want to eat, and being out trying to get information and footage for you guys. That's what it is. I'll make sure I got my Subway sandwiches and different things like that. So, that's what I've been doing. I really have not lost any weight. I think I gained 1 pound in a month, but my people at the doctor say, well, you're consistent. So this month I committed to losing 10. So I'm going to lose the 10 pounds. That's automatic because I made that commitment to do that. So I just got a good support system, and they stay on me. When I say these cats, you think we still playing ball together the way they blowing up the phone. Say, man, did you eat today? Did you not drinking while you eating? No, man. You had your protein shake today? Yes, dog, I had it. So they worse than my mama, but without them, we wouldn't be as far along. So I got like 6 months of nutritional visits. I done did 2. I got another one scheduled on the 10th. So after them 6 months, we rolling in now, and we going to get it done, man.
That's a blessing. Like I said, it's you got to take all the positives you can take. See, I got the opposite problem, 5-star. I'm like kind of like Al. I'm slim build, so I try that. I have to eat just to maintain existence. So but yeah, that's an awesome thing. And Afro Diaspora says, so you're saying you're going back to being a porno star? Is that the goal?
Nah, I ain't never stopped being one. I'm cold with it, man. I told y'all, man, I'm a little Dirk Dickler, man.
Break the back like a Halloween cat, like he used to say.
man, make them put a hump in their back like a Halloween cat. I don't play no game.
Hey, let me ask you guys.
I bet you won't leave here talking about big boys can't do it.
Hey, let me ask you guys something. You were talking about your health. When you're dealing with the health, because I have a high metabolism and it's hard to gain weight. I'm 6'4.25" and I weigh 191. I feel I should be a little heavier, but I notice in our community we're dealing with a lot of comorbidity, and so it is imperative that we drink a lot of water. And so my question is, what can I do to gain weight? Because I don't want to lose anything. I just want to gain. So what can I do? I don't work out. You know, I'm very ravenous when it comes to food. But
you like sandwiches?
I do.
Eat you a couple of sandwiches right before you go to bed. That's all you gotta do. Eat you a couple of sandwiches right before you go to bed. Now the good thing is you'll gain the weight that you want to gain. But I think, the higher power made you the way he wanted you. So, sometimes we need to just leave well enough alone. You don't want to get overweight and be dealing with things that us overweight people deal with. You know, it's tough some days, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a big boy all my life. I mean, I tell that to anybody. I lost a lot of weight. I lost 100 pounds one time, and I was just so uncomfortable because I had never been strong. But I wish I had stayed that way, because now as you get older, you can't get the weight off you like I used to back in the day. So I mean, I can just drop it. It is what it is. But I mean, you good. I mean, I wouldn't even force it. But I mean, anything with some yeast in it, bread, your starches, it'll put that weight on you, man. But just be careful, bro.
Yeah. Well, if you're asking me, I'm gonna give you the best advice you're gonna get when it comes to that. All right. You ready? I think you and Dimitri need to sleep in separate rooms.
I wish somebody would try that in my eye. You don't okay. It ain't working over here.
Yeah. Stay in some separate rooms. That way you don't lose all the weight, because I know you're eating and stuff, your metabolism's getting up there. But you separate rooms, brother. I guarantee you'll put on about 60 pounds in a year.
And any man out there talking about that they can do it every day, quit lying. Quit lying, because you can't.
I can't.
Let me ask.
I'm a freak. I'm a freak.
Hey, let me ask y'all something. I'm ambidextrous. Can you hear me? Yep. I'm ambidextrous, and I just want to know something. That when you're and your hand falls asleep, is that rejection?
No, I mean I did it too long. I just did it too long. That to me, that's safe sex, and I encourage everybody to have safe sex. All you can, and if you go to the gym, you can strengthen your wrist up, get you like a 10-pound weight, and just play with it. Just play with it. Learn how to use both hands. If you can use both hands, you'd be better than an NBA player.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So wait, before we close out here, Al, you got to do it. Can we get Al Jackson's joke of the day? Because you got a million of them.
Okay, Al Jack's joke of the day. Okay, it was this little boy. He was carrying his wagon down the road, and he said, "Damn!" And it got stuck in some mud. This preacher comes out, and the preacher says, "Hey, little boy, don't you know that the good Lord just heard you, and He is everywhere?" The little boy said, "He is?" He says, "Yeah, He's everywhere. He's in the sky. He's across the street. He's over here. He's over there. He's everywhere." The little boy says, "Is the good Lord in my wagon?" And the preacher said, "Yeah, He's in your wagon right now." The little boy says, "Okay, could you tell him to get his lazy ass out and help me get the wagon out the ditch?"
Say, man, it's been a joy. I'm gonna start off final thoughts and we'll roll it around. Remember tomorrow we got our monthly virtual fundraiser at 3 o'clock. Hopefully Donovan and Dimitri come through. I invited Stephanie Brown. She's running for school board in Fort Bend ISD. They're in the middle of early voting. Stephanie has broke her back for children in Fort Bend ISD for the last 9 to 10 years. and she would be a great school board representative. She will not sell out, and she will work hard for every child. So I invited her tomorrow. I go tomorrow. Let's see if we can raise $2,500. Let's see if we can raise 2,500. Now I'm not asking you to give me 2,500. You want to? That's cool. But whatever you can give is more than what we got. So I think if we all tune in and we could do that, then so be it. But right now we're moving along pretty good, and I look forward to the questions tomorrow. Nothing is scripted. Nothing is scripted when they ask me questions about the school system. You don't have to script anything. I know it like the back of my hand. So for me, those are my final thoughts. Donovan?
Hey, I just want to say, finally, the great Al Jackson, it's been a joy and a pleasure for you to come on the show. I've always told you need to do your own channel and get it out there, during the pandemic. That I think that, like you said, comedy it can heal a lot of things. A lot of people out there are hurting, and a few jokes and a place to go would be awesome to do. And again, you coming out, telling your story and doing that, I think that's it's just awesome that you could come out there and keep it real with everybody. But for those that you guys don't know, again, tune in tomorrow. We are going to be for the virtual fundraiser. I'm going to be there. It's 1:00 my time, no problem. Saturday's a good day for me. And you don't have to wait till tomorrow, Val. You could hit that Cash App right now, and I put the link down in the comments. So if you want to donate right now, $2, $5, $25. Some of y'all got y'all stimulus checks. You can put 100 down. And you don't have to wait for tomorrow, and you can continue to donate even after that. But just for everybody's information, I want you guys to know this. Al knows this. Everybody that's been around us knows this. Until Al buys Demetrius' contract, he owes me a lot of money. So I want that to be out there. He hasn't paid me yet. And so, but Al has always told me this: as long as he owes me, I will never be broke.
Absolutely. I want to thank you guys for having me on your show. I want to let both of you guys know you got family now within me. You got a brother within me, and I love you unconditionally. I'm going to just tell the war zone, just keep doing what you're doing. When you see someone come on, get in this news feed and saying anything derogatory, cut their asses off. Because you got way too many followers, way too many people that will support this show. So you don't need them. So, and I've told Demetra, when Gary wants to cut them off and she wants to say, damn them, we're going to cut them off. Because you want to bring people on here that want to support the show. And so what Dr. Donovan is doing, Dr. Monroe is doing, y'all keep it up. Because y'all are the ones that are waking people up and educate our people. Love, black love, and money and laughter is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So you got a brother in me. And for everyone out there to keep calling me El DeBarge. Look, when this pandemic stuff is over with, if you ain't bought your ticket, it's going to be too late. And this is the only thing I can say. This is the only thing I can tell you. Warzone, I love you. You got a brother in me. Take care.
Now, hold on a second. The hell with that. Let's do this again. Now, it's a reason we the best in the business. We keep it 100. It is what it is. It's the war zone. I want to thank my good friend Donovan Sadiq, my other good friend Al Jackson, and I am the 5-star general. Virtual fundraiser tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Come with your questions. I'm going to be ready. We need to raise $2,500 tomorrow. We all brothers. But I need you to talk to our other brother, Walter, and tell him to keep his ass out of Montgomery County before we find him with a chain around his neck, dragging from the back of a truck. Until Monday, man, we'll holler at you.